Okay everyone, hi, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be creating a really cool effect in After Effects. This effect is really sought out for the way it looks and how cool it can be. It's a very simple thing to do, and we're going to go ahead and get started with this. I gotta apologize also, I am actually recording the audio after the video. Normally I do it at the same time. I had a little issue with it, so I'm recording the audio afterwards. So the effect has a very cool effect. It's called a write on or reveal technique, and what it does basically, you can use the stroked effect to create the illusion of something being written on your screen. So this is used a lot in what used to be called a whiteboard effect, where there was somebody who was drawing on a board while the narrator was explaining something. So the illustrator was creating the images or the illustrations at the same time, so that people can see what's going on. And it was something very trendy for a while. It still kind of is, and people use it all the time in commercials and presentations and marketing videos, things like that. So the effect is a very strong demand for it, and being very simple, it's really easy to use. So we're going to use this design here of a woman, silhouetted woman, kind of like, it's very simple. Basically it's just three little hair strokes and some up hair lips, and all we're going to do is just resize it a little bit to fit our composition. And we just want to make sure that it fits nicely in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use the pen tool to go around and follow each one of these little bits of this illustration. There's four things in there: the lips and the hair. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just use the pen tool and trace it around the those points. And you want to start off on the outside of each one of these little hair strokes. So right here you can see me like starting from just that very tip right now. And then what we're going to do is just try to create a line going down the middle of that hair stroke. Okay, now at this point the mask that is created, the color is kind of like a, seems like a light green color. And if that's too bright because it clashes with the drawing, you can go down to where it says mask, and on that little box right there, you can click on it and the color picker will come up. So you see it was like a light blue color. I use red here so it stands out against the white a little bit better. And it's much easier to work that way than a lighter color, obviously. Then you can go ahead and just click and drag on those points and kind of finish outside of the drawing. And the idea here is just to nudge everything right in the middle of everything, because when we use the effect, it's going to use a circle as its shape. And so we want to make sure that it covers everything and nothing gets left behind. So what you can do also is switch between the pen tool and the selection tool. The selection tool can be a little bit better to adjust all these things, because with the pen tool selected, you have a variety of different little options on it, but sometimes a little mistake can happen. So if you switch between the pen tool and the selection tool, it's much easier to make sure that you don't make little mistakes. The other thing that happens too is that when you want to make a new mask, you have to end the current one you're using. So using the selection tool will go ahead and make that easier. Here again, I'm changing the color so that it stands out, and then I'm just adjusting. Sometimes you get a little weird little line that happens there. That's okay. Just adjust the other handles and you'll see that it'll get fixed up that way as well. Again, just making sure that everything is going down the middle of whatever you're trying to reveal, just so that when we do the effect, it doesn't clip on something else. And you'll see that actually happens a little bit later in this video. Here I'm using the selection tool again to adjust everything that I need to. I'm going to go back and use the selection tool again just to make sure I'm done with that other mask. And if you notice on the bottom, every time you use the new pen tool, it creates another mask on the same layer, which is what we want. And anytime you see little weird things like that where it doesn't go your way, again, just use the selection tool. It makes it much uh, faster. It makes it much easier. It's a better result than trying to go through the options, hitting Alt or Control or even Shift with the pen tool. In a moment, you'll see me actually show you what the difference is when you use the pen tools, different options. So if you hold down, for example, Control, I'll show you right now. The control becomes a little upside down V, and what that does is that it removes the curvature and makes it angular. So I'll just click here in the middle, and you see that the line is very angular. So I'll just undo that because I want it obviously to curve. If you hold down Control, it turns into a minus sign and it removes one of those points. If you just hover your pen tool over any other part of the line of the pen tool stroke, it will add one. And then if you just again move your mouse, it will turn into the black triangle where you can go ahead and adjust it. But the selection tool makes it much easier to do. So I have three masks, and right there, mask 1, 2, and 3. They're color coded, so you can see what's what. For the lips, I'm not gonna do a straight reveal. I'll probably want to do somewhat like a zigzag. So you'll see that I'll go ahead and just click there and go down to like the corner of the lip, and I want it to zigzag across. So I want to move it so that it reaches to the other side, but then comes through the other lip and then goes down. And you'll see I'm just going and adjusting everything, and I want to end always kind of outside of the drawing. All right, just so that it's secured, that the reveal won't miss anything. So once I'm done there, I'm gonna write over on the effects and preset little search bar, type in stroke, or if you can come over to effects, make sure you have the layer selected, and come up to effects, and we'll go to generate and effects, or again you can just type it over here, and then you can use the generate option. Don't use any of the other ones. The other ones are for different things, because other things are using stroke as part of its name. Just click and drag it onto the layer. Now you can drag it on directly onto the image. Anytime you use an effect, don't put it on the image or anything in the viewport. You want to make sure that you're putting on the right layer, so it's easier, and it's just you'll know that which layer you're putting on. So always put the effects directly on the layer. Now over here in the effects channel controls, we have all these different options here. The one we're going to focus mainly on is going to be end and brush size. So the first thing I need to do is change the paint style, which will go from three options. It has reveal original image is what I want to use. And when I click out, you'll see that there's like a faint line in there. Okay, and that's because the end option is set to 100. Now I want to put that to 0, all the way down to 0, and you see that nothing appears. And so the end option there is what actually does the effect that we're looking for. So I'm going to go to somewhere around 15 seconds. It doesn't really matter because you can always change the timing, but 15 seconds was probably just the easiest one to look for. And then I'm going to hit the stopwatch. Bring that all the way up to 100 at the end. And again, you see that faint lines there, but it's not showing the other things. So we want to make sure we click on the all masks options, and let me just click it there. Okay, so now you can see everything, and everything is very thin, very faint, because the brush size is only at 2, and we need to raise it up a little bit. So we're going to go to the beginning, and we want to make sure that that end is at 0, so it's keyed there at the beginning of this animation, and you can see that it works. So as we scrub through the timeline, everything gets revealed, just like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come back and change the brush size. So I'm just going to leave it where I can see everything. And brush size, I'm just going to raise it to a higher number. And I'm going to do it that's big enough so everything gets revealed. So around 28, maybe even 30. Looks like 28.2 is what I'm going to use. Go back down to 0 or 1, but notice right there's a small, tiny little bit of the other hair stroke drawing appearing because of the size of my brush. So now I can key my brush size so that it's a little bit smaller at the beginning, but then it gets revealed later. So I'm going to go to a point where it shows that second hair line come in, and I'm going to leave it there. Okay, leave it at 28.2, what I had originally. Go earlier, I'm going to make it a tad smaller. You can go down about to 15, and you can see now it's gone. That little bit was gone. So the rest of it is appearing just fine, but then as it goes through time, it's going to raise the size of the brush so that everything is revealed. Okay, so I'm hitting play here. You can see it's going very slow because it's about 15 seconds to reveal all this. Later I'm going to go ahead and change my timing on this so that it goes by faster, but I want to make sure that everything works just as fine and nothing is getting revealed when it's not supposed to. Everything is not getting cut off. So now I'm going to go back and hit U. If you hit U, it will reveal all your key ticks on your timeline. So then all I can do is just go to the end. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see my timing a little bit better. And so the end option is what controls the speed of this. And I'm just going to move everything around so I can get the one I want it to be. Have the ending start a little sooner. Have the beginning of it start sooner. The end around 4 seconds. Have the brush size a little bit before that so that again nothing gets cut off, and then that's a good speed there. And then you can use this effect for a variety of different things, but you can use it for something like this, which this image looks like a logo for a beauty salon or some kind of beauty product. It doesn't really matter what, but this could be an intro to their company videos or a commercial, or just for their website. Maybe just an intro to their Instagram or whatever it could be. Right next to it, you could put the name of the company and use the same effect here, especially if you're using the logo, the name of the company is using some kind of like handwritten text, that font that looks like somebody wrote it. You can use the same exact effect here to do that. It's very simple to do. And I had changed the timing so it was a little faster earlier. And just checking everything out again. Always double check these things because you don't know where this is going to get presented. It could be on something as small as your phone, or it can be as large as a billboard. So you always want to double check everything you do so that there's nothing revealing that it shouldn't be. Everything looks perfect, and then you can go ahead and move on. But like I said, this is done really easily, but it's sought out by lots of different people for making their videos have a little more spice to it. Everything that I've shown you in the previous videos, it does the same thing. All these visual effects come together and to make the image, or the video look really amazing, but the results are very simple. And that's all I have for today. All right, bye.